10 Mountie esports players 10 specific questions, and these are their answers.
Watermelon Ice from Gamer Subs.
Ghost Energy, either the cans or the pre-workout, either work.
So I used to be a Ghost favorite, but now
Too long.
White Monster for sure.
Monster, the Fantasy Red Ruby.
The Mountie GG Gamer Subs that they provide.
Taco Bell, absolutely.
McDonald's is so much better.
Taco Bell has to be. I've eaten too much McDonald's since it's right down the street.
McDonald's. I like the Oreo McFlurries.
I'm gonna choose Taco Bell because it gives me less stomach problems than McDonald's does.
McDonald's all the way.
There's levels to this, and Taco Bell is at the top one.
Sheets guy all the way. I actually don't know what Wawa is, but Sheets.
I gotta say Wawa. I grew up with Wawa, and I just think the food's better.
Sheets is the best thing to grace our planet.
I'd have to go with Sheets.
Definitely rough.
Injustice, no J-Naps.
Hydron, probably.
Probably T-Crow.
Either Skippy or T-Crow.
Croc. Pokemon Red for the Game Boy Color.
Webkins. That was the first video game I've ever played, Webkins. Oh my god.
League of Legends. Sadly, that was the first game. That's one of the only games that I played. I just enjoy it so much.
Mario Kart 7 on the DS.
No bully.
Probably PGE.
Some of the top man.
Definitely PGE.
Angry Ginge or somebody in that realm, like Speed and stuff, they're pretty funny.
Probably my dorm.
Definitely Birchie.
I think the pond is one of the greatest schools you can buy.
The library, it just got renovated, much nicer, much quieter.
Definitely my room. Probably the IT area in the library.
Yes, I love snowboarding. I've been snowboarding my whole life.
Are you a snow person?
Not really, no. I don't really like the cold a whole lot.
I prefer summer.
Only for playing Snow Day in Rocket League.
No.
Yeah, I love snow.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm from upstate New York.
I love snow. I think it's so fun.
I think I would play, I don't even know. That's the only game that I play.
Probably competitive TF2. Probably Rivals, you know.
I'd probably just play Trackmania.
I think the culture at Smash is insane. I would love to play Smash.
I'd probably play Madden.
Gotta be Mount Aloysius College. You can't beat them.
Mounties, obviously.
Mount Aloysius, of course.
Oh my gosh, this isn't the question. Mountie Esports.
I mean, gotta be the Mounties, right? The culture here is unmatched.
The Mount Aloysius esports program.
Obviously, Mount Aloysius.
You're looking at it.
Gotta be the Mounties Esports.
Cool.
You have more important things in life to think about than your internet. At BreezeLine, we propel life forward with home internet so reliable, you don't have to think about it. With a team that goes above and beyond, fiber-powered speeds up to 1 gig, and 99.9% reliability at any hour, in any room. You won't have to think about your internet again. Go to breezeline.com for internet that propels life forward.
Here at Mountain Esports, we take it to the next level. Our players have the ability to travel, compete, and even participate on the caffeine committee. Check out the Insta to see what's new with Mountain Esports today.
At the Mount, things are, well, elevated. And it's not just because we're on a mountain. The experience at a small college like Mount Aloysius is actually personal. The faculty and staff know my goals. It's a level of support you won't find at other colleges. And the Mount backs it up with career-focused partnerships and majors. As soon as I visited, it just felt like home. That's what makes this place different. Makes college elevated. Mount Aloysius College.
We asked 10 Mountie Esports players 10 specific questions, and these are their answers.
Watermelon ice from Gamer Subs.
Ghost Energy, either the cans or the pre-workout, either work.
So I used to be a Ghost favorite, but now
Too long. White Monster for sure.
Monster, the Fantasy Red Ruby.
The Mount EGG gamer subs that they provide.
Taco Bell, absolutely.
McDonald's is so much better.
Taco Bell has to be. I've eaten too much McDonald's since it's right down the street.
McDonald's. I like the Oreo McFlurries.
I'm gonna choose Taco Bell because it gives me less stomach problems than McDonald's does.
McDonald's all the way.
There's levels to this, and Taco Bell is at the top one.
Sheets guy all the way. I actually don't know what it is, but Sheets.
I gotta say Wawa. I grew up with Wawa, and I just think the food's better.
Sheets is the best thing to grace our planet.
I'd have to go with Sheets.
Definitely rough.
Injustice, no J-Naps.
Hydron, probably.
Probably Tea Corral.
Either Skippy or T-Corral.
Croc. Pokemon Red for the Game Boy Color.
Webkins. That was the first video game I've ever played. Webkins. Oh my god.
League of Legends. Sadly, that was the first game. That's one of the only games that I played. I just enjoy it so much.
Mario Kart 7 on the DS.
No bully.
Probably PGE.
Some of the top man.
Definitely PGE.
Angry Ginge or somebody in that realm, like Speed and stuff, they're pretty funny.
Probably my dorm.
Definitely Birchie.
I think the pond is one of the greatest schools you can buy.
The library, it just got renovated, much nicer, much quieter.
Definitely my room. Probably the IT area in the library.
Yes, I love snowboarding. I've been snowboarding my whole life.
Are you a snow person?
Not really, no. I don't really like the cold a whole lot.
I prefer summer.
Only for playing Snow Day in Rocket League.
No.
Yeah, I love snow.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm from upstate New York.
I love snow. I think it's so fun.
I think I would play, I don't even know. That's the only game that I play.
Probably competitive TF2. Probably Rivals, you know.
I'd probably just play Trackmania.
I think the culture at Smash is insane. I would love to play Smash.
I'd probably play Madden.
Gotta be Mount Aloysius College. You can't beat them.
Mounties, obviously.
Mount Aloysius, of course.
Oh my gosh, this isn't the question. Mountie esports.
I mean, gotta be the Mounties, right? The culture here is unmatched.
The Mount Aloysius esports program.
Obviously, Mount Aloysius.
You're looking at it. Gotta be the Mounties esports.
Cool.
You have more important things in life to think about than your internet. At BreezeLine, we propel life forward with home internet so reliable, you don't have to think about it. With a team that goes above and beyond, fiber-powered speeds up to 1 gig, and 99.9% reliability at any hour, in any room. You won't have to think about your internet again. Go to breezeline.com for internet that propels life forward.
Here at Mountain Esports, we take it to the next level. Our players have the ability to travel, compete, and even participate on the caffeine committee. Check out the Insta to see what's new with Mountain Esports today.
At the Mount, things are, well, elevated. And it's not just because we're on a mountain. The experience at a small college like Mount Aloysius is actually personal. The faculty and staff know my goals. It's a level of support you won't find at other colleges. And the Mount backs it up with career-focused partnerships and majors. As soon as I visited, it just felt like home. That's what makes this place different. Makes college elevated. Mount Aloysius College.
We asked 10 Mountie esports players 10 specific questions, and these are their answers.
Watermelon ice from Gamer Subs.
Ghost energy, either the cans or the pre-workout, either work.
So I used to be a Ghost favorite, but now
Too long.
White Monster for sure.
Monster, the Fantasy Red Ruby.
The Mounties GG gamer subs that they provide.
Taco Bell, absolutely.
McDonald's is so much better.
Taco Bell has to be. I've eaten too much McDonald's since it's right down the street.
McDonald's. I like the Oreo McFlurries.
I'm gonna choose Taco Bell because it gives me less stomach problems than McDonald's does.
McDonald's all the way.
There's levels to this, and Taco Bell is at the top one.
Sheets guy all the way. I actually don't know what Wawa is, but sheets.
I gotta say Wawa. I grew up with Wawa, and I just think the food's better.
Sheets is the best thing to grace our planet.
I'd have to go with Sheets.
Definitely rough.
In Justin, no J-Naps.
Hydron, probably.
Probably T-Corral.
Either Skippy or T-Corral.
Croc.
Pokemon Red for the Game Boy Color.
Webkins. That was the first video game I've ever played, Webkins.
League of Legends. Sadly, that was the first game. That's one of the only games that I played. I just enjoy it so much.
Mario Kart 7 on the DS.
No bully.
Probably PGE.
Some of the top maps.
Definitely PGE.
Angry Ginge or somebody in that realm, like Speed and stuff, they're pretty funny.
Probably my dorm.
Definitely Birchie.
I think the pond is one of the greatest schools of life.
The library, it just got renovated and much nicer, much quieter.
Definitely my room.
Probably the IT area in the library.
Yes, I love snowboarding. I've been snowboarding my whole life.
Are you a snow person?
Not really, no. I don't really like the cold a whole lot.
I prefer summer.
Only for playing Snow Day in Rocket League.
No. Yeah, I love snow.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm from upstate New York.
I love snow. I think it's so fun.
I think I would play, I don't even know. That's the only game that I play.
Probably competitive TF2.
Probably Rivals, you know.
I'd probably just play Trackmania.
I think the culture at Smash is insane. I would love to play Smash.
I'd probably play Madden.
Gotta be Mount Aloysius College, you can't beat them.
Mounties, obviously.
Mount Aloysius, of course.
Oh my gosh, this isn't the question. Mountie Esports.
I mean, gotta be the Mounties, right? The culture here is unmatched.
The Mount Aloysius esports program.
Obviously, Mount Aloysius.
You're looking at it.
Gotta be the Mounties Esports.
Cool.
You have more important things in life to think about than your internet. At BreezeLine, we propel life forward with home internet so reliable, you don't have to think about it. With a team that goes above and beyond. Fiber-powered speeds up to 1 gig. And 99.9% reliability at any hour. In any room. You won't have to think about your internet again. Go to breezeline.com for internet that propels life forward.
Here at Mountain Esports, we take it to the next level. Our players have the ability to travel, compete, and even participate on the caffeine committee. Check out the Insta to see what's new with Mountain Esports today.
At the Mount, things are, well, elevated. And it's not just because we're on a mountain. The experience at a small college like Mount Aloysius is actually personal. The faculty and staff know my goals. It's a level of support you won't find at other colleges. And the Mount backs it up with career-focused partnerships and majors. As soon as I visited, it just felt like home. That's what makes this place different. Makes college elevated. Mount Aloysius College.
We asked 10 Mountie esports players 10 specific questions, and these are their answers.
Watermelon ice from Gamer Subs.
Ghost Energy, either the cans or the pre-workout, either work.
So I used to be a Ghost favorite, but now
Too long.
White Monster for sure.
Monster, the Fantasy Red Ruby.
The Mountie GG gamer subs that they provide.
Taco Bell, absolutely.
McDonald's is so much better.
Taco Bell has to be. I've eaten too much McDonald's since it's right down the street.
McDonald's. I like the Oreo McFlurries.
I'm gonna choose Taco Bell because it gives me less stomach problems than McDonald's does.
McDonald's all the way.
There's levels to this, and Taco Bell is at the top one.
Sheets guy all the way.
I actually don't know what Wawa is, but she's.
I gotta say Wawa. I grew up with Wawa, and I just think the food's better.
Sheets is the best thing to grace our planet.
I'd have to go with Sheets.
Definitely rough.
Injustice, no J-Naps.
High ground, probably.
Probably T-Crow.
Either Skippy or T-Crow.
Croc. Pokemon Red for the Game Boy Color.
Webkins. That was the first video game I've ever played, Webkins. Oh my god.
League of Legends. Sadly, that was the first game. That's one of the only games that I played. I just enjoy it so much.
Mario Kart 7 on the DS.
No bully.
Probably PGE.
Some of the top now.
Definitely PGE.
Angry Ginge or somebody in that realm, like Speed and stuff, they're pretty funny.
Probably my dorm.
Definitely Birchie.
I think the pond is one of the greatest schools you can buy.
The library, it just got renovated, much nicer, much quieter.
Definitely my room. Probably the IT area in the library.
Yes, I love snowboarding. I've been snowboarding my whole life.
Are you a snow person?
Not really, no. I don't really like the cold a whole lot.
I prefer summer.
Only for playing Snow Day in Rocket League.
No.
Yeah, I love snow.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm from upstate New York.
I love snow. I think it's so fun.
I think I would play, I don't even know. That's the only game that I play.
Probably competitive TF2. Probably Rivals, yeah.
I'd probably just play Trackmania.
I think the culture at Smash is insane. I would love to play Smash.
I'd probably play Madden.
Gotta be Mount Aloysius College. You can't beat them.
Mounties, obviously.
Mount Aloysius, of course.
Oh my gosh, this isn't the question. Mountie esports.
I mean, gotta be the Mounties, right? The culture here is unmatched.
The Mount Aloysius esports program.
Obviously, Mount Aloysius.
You're looking at it. Gotta be the Mounties esports.
Cool.
You have more important things in life to think about than your internet. At BreezeLine, we propel life forward with home internet so reliable, you don't have to think about it. With a team that goes above and beyond, fiber-powered speeds up to 1 gig, and 99.9% reliability at any hour, in any room. You won't have to think about your internet again. Go to breezeline.com for internet that propels life forward.
Here at Mountain Esports, we take it to the next level. Our players have the ability to travel, compete, and even participate on the caffeine committee. Check out the Insta to see what's new with Mountain Esports today.
At the Mount, things are, well, elevated. And it's not just because we're on a mountain. The experience at a small college like Mount Aloysius is actually personal. The faculty and staff know my goals. It's a level of support you won't find at other colleges. And the Mount backs it up with career-focused partnerships and majors. As soon as I visited, it just felt like home. That's what makes this place different. Makes college elevated. Mount Aloysius College.
We asked 10 Mountie esports players 10 specific questions, and these are their answers.
Watermelon ice from Gamer Subs.
Ghost Energy, either the cans or the pre-workout, either work.
So I used to be a Ghost favorite, but now
Too long. White Monster for sure.
Monster, the Fantasy Red Ruby.
The Mount EGG gamer subs that they provide.
Taco Bell, absolutely.
McDonald's is so much better.
Taco Bell has to be. I've eaten too much McDonald's since it's right down the street.
McDonald's. I like the Oreo McFlurries.
I'm gonna choose Taco Bell because it gives me less stomach problems than McDonald's does.
McDonald's all the way.
There's levels to this, and Taco Bell is at the top one.
Sheets guy all the way.
I actually don't know what Wawa is, but shoots.
I gotta say Wawa. I grew up with Wawa, and I just think the food's better.
Sheets is the best thing to grace our planet.
I'd have to go with Sheets.
Definitely rough.
Injustice, no J-Naps.
Hydron, probably.
Probably T-Corral.
Either Skippy or T-Corral.
Croc. Pokemon Red for the Game Boy Color.
Webkins. That was the first video game I've ever played, Webkins. Oh my god.
League of Legends. Sadly, that was the first game. That's one of the only games that I played. I just enjoy it so much.
Mario Kart 7 on the DS.
No bully.
Probably PGE.
Some of the top now.
Definitely PGE.
Angry Ginge or somebody in that realm, like Speed and stuff, they're pretty funny.
Probably my dorm.
Definitely Birchie.
I think the pond is one of the greatest schools you can buy.
The library, it just got renovated, much nicer, much quieter.
Definitely my room. Probably the IT area in the library.
Yes, I love snowboarding. I've been snowboarding my whole life.
Are you a snow person?
Not really, no. I don't really like the cold a whole lot.
I prefer summer.
Only for playing Snow Day in Rocket League.
No.
Yeah, I love snow.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm from upstate New York.
I love snow. I think it's so fun.
I think I would play, I don't even know. That's the only game that I play.
Probably competitive TF2. Probably Rivals, you know.
I'd probably just play Trackmania.
I think the culture at Smash is insane. I would love to play Smash.
I'd probably play Madden.
Gotta be Mount Aloysius College. You can't beat them.
Mounties, obviously.
Mount Aloysius, of course.
Oh my gosh, this isn't the question. Mountie esports.
I mean, gotta be the Mounties, right? The culture here is unmatched.
The Mount Aloysius esports program.
Obviously, Mount Aloysius.
You're looking at it.
Gotta be the Mounties esports.
Cool.
You have more important things in life to think about than your internet. At Breezeline, we propel life forward with home internet so reliable, you don't have to think about it. With a team that goes above and beyond, fiber-powered speeds up to 1 gig, and 99.9% reliability at any hour, in any room. You won't have to think about your internet again. Go to breezeline.com for internet that propels life forward.
Here at Mount Esports, we take it to the next level. Our players have the ability to travel, compete, and even participate on the caffeine committee. Check out the Insta to see what's new with Mount Esports today.
At the Mount, things are, well, elevated. And it's not just because we're on a mountain. The experience at a small college like Mount Aloysius is actually personal. The faculty and staff know my goals. It's a level of support you won't find at other colleges. And the Mount backs it up with career-focused partnerships and majors. As soon as I visited, it just felt like home. That's what makes this place different. Makes college elevated. Mount Aloysius College.
We asked 10 Mountie esports players 10 specific questions, and these are their answers.
Watermelon ice from Gamer Subs.
Ghost energy, either the cans or the pre-workout, either work.
So I used to be a Ghost favorite, but now
Too long.
White Monster for sure.
Monster, the Fantasy Red Ruby.
The Mountie GG gamer subs that they provide.
Taco Bell, absolutely.
McDonald's is so much better.
Taco Bell has to be. I've eaten too much McDonald's since it's right down the street.
McDonald's. I like the Oreo McFlurries.
I'm gonna choose Taco Bell because it gives me less stomach problems than McDonald's does.
McDonald's all the way.
There's levels to this, and Taco Bell is at the top one.
Sheets guy all the way.
I actually don't know what Wawa is, but sheets.
I gotta say Wawa. I grew up with Wawa, and I just think the food's better.
Sheets is the best thing to planet.
And welcome back, everybody, to another week of PIEA Overwatch 2. First to two best of 3 coming your way. Not 1, but 2 matches locked and loaded. We have the Central Bucks South coming up on deck, up against the Wyoming Valley West. I'm Mott, joined by Llama77, and we are here to cover these 2 fantastic matches, starting off on Oasis of all things. But otherwise, Llama, you know this, we're coming off of a fresh patch. Some new things are being made in the meta space. So what can we possibly expect going into a map like Oasis?
I think it's just going to be fun, high-flying action. I think especially at the high school level, a lot of these players just love playing what is their favorite hero throughout the day. So getting some of those meta change-ups will be interesting to watch. We've got 10 great players. You mentioned starting on Oasis. We'll head to Push as number 2, Flashpoint as number 3. And if there's some sort of tiebreaker needed, we'll head over to Control to break that tiebreaker. Both of these 2 teams, though, enter today at a +2 map differential. That means they swept their Week 1 series and are looking good at 1-0.
They sure are. And in the event that we do get a very rare draw, only possible on Push at that 66-meter checkpoint, it's likely, pretty much unlikely we'll get to that, unicorn map 4 of a best of 3, but we can always hope, right? Oasis I love because it really does show so much flexibility in compositions. I think a lot of the Control maps do offer that. Lijiang Tower, Busan, Oasis, all really have flexibility in playing a brawl, playing a pseudo poke, or even a dive. Always, I think, is going to be we're going to likely see a dive come out more often, not especially when you want to talk about gardens, you want to talk about city center. Really, University is the one-all be-all for a brawl with an Orisa, a Ramatra as well. You can put a Sojin there. She can kind of click some heads. But like you mentioned, we have a good series on our hand. Central Bucks South, we count on deck not once but twice today. They have a match right after this as well. So 2 series, let's get into it. 10 players ready and loaded in our lobbies. And again, you mentioned, high schoolers want to play what they are comfortable with. And I think in the grand scheme of things, comfort kind of does go a long way and not just playing what is quote unquote meta.
Yeah, I mean, having that comfortability, especially not forcing somebody onto something and say everybody can play what they want. Let's just have some fun. That's the #1 ideal for all 10 of these kids out in lobby. But also, these are 2 teams that somewhat do have playoff hopes. You go back to 2024, where in fall both these teams ended 3rd in their conference championships, and then into spring where they were both inching towards those playoff finals but never quite made it towards that championship. Trying to bounce back this year, of course, both teams losing some of their starting players on either side. It's interesting to see with new players fitted in. You mentioned Central Bucks South. They've got a great feeder system. Not only will we see their Division 1 but also their Division 2 team here today, so it's gonna be some players with experience, but maybe their first time on a big Division 1 stage.
I know, and the stakes are super, super high in that regard, right? You want to make playoffs, you want to get the glory, you want to play on the big stage, of course, right? And get that recognition and that play money, right? But you gotta make it to that point at some point. We are only in week 3, so things always change up. Things can always kind of fall down by the wayside. But yeah, when it comes to the overall match, I do think we're going to have a really solid one, not just from right now, but also later. Again, relatively early on. Players are getting ready. They are ready to go at the same time. So that being said, I am, again, excited to see what we are seeing from our high schoolers today. Because again, especially with you and I, who do look at the pro scene a lot, maybe even collegiate scene a lot, they'd like to play a pretty stable composition regarding the Orisa, maybe Zarya, another character who has been very strong in the tank role as of late. Of course, falling back to a Sojourn, Kiriko Wuyong, the new hero that came out, has been very prominent. And you can see a couple of those names lining themselves up. The Wuyong makes an appearance, the Sojourn making an appearance as well. I'm loving and digging the Ana from Brayden, especially on here, City Center.
Frenchette, the famous diva, as well, will be bringing it out to start off on that tank role. Really good at diving, attacking that backline, and famously had some big moments in the playoffs back in that fall of 2024. For Wyoming Valley, still trying to lock in their 5th hero, but interestingly enough, they have just a ton of damage. You bring out the Bastion, very immobile, but can provide just a ton of chip damage, especially with all of the intricate angles that go into this first control point.
100%, but that diva is going to be the biggest thing between Tree and any sort of success with that defense matrix, kind of mitigating that projectile. That being said, the fight a little bit messier, trying to find some high ground pressure, trying to find that low ground pressure. He needs to get healed up by, of course, Chris, who does lock in the Mercy at the end of the day, does get the res off as well, so renders that first pick almost useless for Central Buck South, but they have now regained it by taking out the Cassidy. The anti-nade falls onto the Bastion, and with that being said, it is just a matter of cleaning up the front and back line.
Boy, the tandem duo here of Artie and Ronglong being able to work the close range and far range so well together. Central Buck South was unwavered, saying you can take some space on this first point. We've got the damage to follow up. We don't even need to target the Mercy first. We'll waste that res out very early, and now they've got control of one of the best choke points in the game.
Oh, I love this high ground as well. You already have Artie set up patiently with the defensive shot. You also have the Garner walking out now. Of course, a natural counter to that D.Va. The anti does scare off the opposition from walking to that main sight line, but now they start walking with one bubble already extended from not Noah. Both bubbles now offline. The Zarya is high charge, but the damage output is even greater from Fredchet and from Ronglong. Symmetra tries to bunker down in this small room with all three turrets, but it does get sought out and quickly shut down by the defenders so far. 50% of the objective already in favor of Central Buck South.
Central Bucks have a lot of good teams, including their other roster, Central Bucks West and South. They've got all of them together, 3 of the Central Bucks teams, but more importantly, they saved 3 of those ultimates with 2 on deck for this next fight, with still just a ton of information and sightline control.
Oh, he's a double nade from Brayden. I mean, that single-handedly stops the fight here, Llama. You can't do anything with 2 of your teammates dead in a 3v5 situation. Moonslayer chops off, goes over to Kiriko. Chris goes over to Moira this time, but it's unforgiving from Central Buck.
And they save all 5 ultimates. That's the most important part. They've just played their spacing so well, they haven't needed to use any of them. Of course, you don't really get to save them, so why not use them here and just dive forward?
Auto Blasts get used alongside the Death Blossom. I mean, that is just a free entryway for Ronglong to just kind of walk against the back line, and there's absolutely no way for a touch to be seen. The wall was a fruitless endeavor from a Great Chaos. A good idea, but a little bit too late.
Artie was able to control a lot of what that was throughout that first control map, and obviously you've got to win 2 of these sub-maps if you want to win the map in general, and you got to win 2 maps to win the series. So still a lot of series to be played, but for Wyoming Valley West, they're going to need to garner some percentage. They're going to immediately actually change up what the composition looks like, and Tree, especially on this map right here, has a lot of chances to ricochet those bouncing grenades into the back line, but Not Know has to be very careful about who, what, and where they're bubbling.
Ooh, I love the Ram pick over here as well. Some stuff's actually happening. You have Tree on Junkrat. You don't really see all that often anymore, besides being a control center on Lijiang Tower of all control points, right? But we're on, first of all, Oasis, and we're also on City Center. So love the high ground that is available to us. The fight starts off almost immediately in the front area. Already seeing Central Bucks rotate over to the point proper and trying to find angles to out-angle Not Noah, to out-angle Tree, avoid these Junkrat bombs. A slow start here, Llama, but it all comes down to an opening pick from either of these DPSs. Might come down to Tree, who does get a little bit too active in that back line and then gets called out by Frencha on the tank. Chris, unfortunately, not able to find a way away from the opposition either. Taken down by the Quicksters Wu Yang. At this point, again, another quick cleanup for Central Buck.
We talked about Frenchette being this kind of returning member, but also a captain and leading the charge. Central Buck South, the same exact game plan as that first sub-map. Wait with patience, wait for Tree to make a mistake, and then because they're out of Resurrection Zone, just take down the Mercy next. They've got great aerial damage, and Ronglong switching over to the Genji just diversifies all of their dive potential. Central Buck South with already great control.
100% Ronglong. I love this Genji so much. The backline pressure you're gonna get for free on the character is gonna be amazing, and already in that front line kind of just lays down the pressure in this nice hallway and takes down Tree, forces the res early from Christus. And finally, a first pick here for Wyoming Valley West, actually forcing the overclock as a response from Ari, now sliding into the opposition. Only whips a tiny bit onto Chris, but Chris Guardian Angels right back into the sightline of Ari. Not know it does get the pummels into the Sojourn and does get the trade-off, but we're still in this fight against the D.Va, and at this point, it's a slightly later stagger that Wyoming Valley do not want right now.
Wyoming Valley is just trying to play this front to back, and it's not really working. Fred Chet, Wrong Lung, all just slicing and dicing and having to waste the resurrection early on Not Know as a timer you do not want to burn. Bolas are available. Let's see what Wyoming Valley can do with it.
Should be big, especially the coalition on top of that from Moonslayer, right? But with that being said, we're gonna wait a little bit. Nice little poke phase, a nice little patience from Wyoming Valley trying to find their way in. The shield does go down first in the corner, forcing the objective, but Brayden with some spectacular aim on the Ana does take down the Freya, mitigating the effect of a bola shot even being used in the engagement. The res distracts Chris so long that we can't leave Moonslayer alive. We can't leave everyone else to their devices. Wyoming Valley is sent back to the spawn really early on.
The classic 3-2 setup. Save 3 on the point, send 2 to the back line, and Frenchette gonna use the D.Va Bomb to clean this one up. It's 200 to 0 points as Central Buck South will walk away victorious on map 1.
100%. Very well done. 200% to none from Wyoming Valley West. But that is not the end-all be-all. This is just the first game. And albeit this is not a best of 5, it's not as forgiving with a bigger series. This is a very quick series. At this point, Central Bucks are at that match point, and we are going to a push after the fact, right? Giving the option of an Esperanza, of a new Queen Street, and a Coliseo. It's Murasapi and Coliseo. So it's like if you're Wyoming Valley, you have an opportunity to change things up, push very much a different vibe, brings different avenues. So this could be an opportunity to regain some of that confidence back, because Oasis can be very unforgiving, especially when you're not able to play that brawl on University at all.
Yeah, and when you go to a push map, it's going to be more opportunities for them to come to you, different changes of terrain where you're not always having to fight straight into them. But Central Buck South, I mean, you said it, a very short series in a best of 3. They've now got 2 chances to try and close it out. And with the performance that they had on map number 1, would love to generate some momentum into map number 2. Will be interesting to see where Wyoming Valley gets to choose. Not a huge many choices to go for in the push map pool. But if there's one that maybe you like more, maybe the team has been practicing more in towards the off season now into the fall season, maybe you selected and could throw the other team off guard.
Well, from the competition that we were seeing from Wyoming Valley with the Ram, Moira, Mercy kind of picks there with the front and the back line, it feels like they might be more privy to an Esperanza or a Runasapi kind of playstyle on push of the 3 options you do have. Again, very limited, but some pretty good options either way. I do feel like if you go to Runasapi, that might give the most value to a Ramatro composition if you want to continue to play that Mercy and Moira. I do think the little bit of Kiriko play we did see from Wyoming Valley might be also a little more fruitful. But the Mercy is definitely there to help kind of supplement that damage output from the DPS, which is very understandable, of course. It's going to be so careful about being in the sight line of the opposition's Sojourn, because multiple times, Central Bucks, even they lost wrong early on, pop overclock, and suddenly you're clicking heads and you're winning the fight in a 4v5, which typically you're at a disadvantage.
And this is what we talk about with Central Bucks and all the Central Bucks teams is their coaching and how they play the actual games are very well oriented together, finding ways to fight as a team. If one player goes down, who cares? We've still got 4 that can take different angles and slice and dice the backline, especially with the dive and Frenchette. We talk about a returning player now with playoff hopes. This would be a great way to start off the season, going 2-0. If you can win this one in a 2-mapper as well, you're up +4 in map differential. That's going to tie you at the top of the leaderboard with the top of the top.
Oh, it sure is. And again, very early on, so things can always change up. But to get that opening boost in the standings now is way better to have it now as a sort of cushion going into week 5, 6, 7 before playoffs, right? So that being said, I think this meta is starting to kind of favor D.Va a tiny bit here. So the D.Va coming in from Frenchette is really putting in the work. Now, I mentioned Esperanza, I mentioned Renasapi, but it does look like Wyoming Valley have opted to go Coliseo. Another fantastic map, longer sightlines. So maybe the DPS will have a little bit more of an easier option off early heads here, especially in the starting point of the bot.
It's interesting with Coliseo as well. You get those longer sight lines, but realistically with any push map, you're also getting a lot of flank angles. So I'll have to see how Central Bucks plays around, especially the right side swing through the doors to get to the back line. And if they want to try and go for a Genji and a D.Va again, we showed that, or they showed rather, that they can play multiple different compositions and switch around what is their DPS. So this is do or die though for Wyoming Valley West. If they don't win this one, the series is over.
And that's only in 10 minutes as well. Of course, push only giving you that a lot of time to work with. So they have 10 minutes to work it out. They have time to adapt, change things up. And my always big worry is swapping too late into a series. And the momentum is already built up against you, especially I feel like Coliseo or even push in general might be the biggest factor of this. When that bot is all the way at the checkpoint, even further than the checkpoint, the momentum really starts to weigh on the people in that who are behind, the team that is behind in that regard. 15 seconds till spawn doors open up. We're seeing a little insight into the compositions from both Central Bucks and Wyoming Valley. The D.Va from Not Noah so far, Frenchette looking at the Doom, but instead maybe want to go a little bit of ball instead.
Lots of different choices to make. Long swapping back. Frenchette, most famous with the D.Va, but definitely has showed some Doomfist in our time here at PIA. For Wyoming Valley, they're going to mirror the D.Va. What they have to be most careful of is Artie is rocking the Widow, and we'll see how quick they recognize it.
Listen, I saw Artie's Sojourn in that overclock. I'm worried about the Widowmaker in a good way for Artie, in a bad way for Wyoming Valley. Gotta be really respectful of that space that Widowmaker does demand here. But as you mentioned, you saw how quick we scouted out that teleport from Sopo? No. They're locked in here, Llama, and they're continuing to pressure everyone out. And like I said, Artie, with those headshots, give me the first one to get Moonslayer, the Kiriko, out of the engagement, tries to go for a grapple shot onto the Juno, and finds a secondary fire anyway. 7 meters already in favor of Central Bucks, and they're moving forward into enemy territory.
It's just a lovely fight. I mean, they took it at 3 different angles. Frenchette at face value, Long from the streets, and Artie from all the way back. They even had Quickster playing to that alcove, and Artie continues to hit headshots. Wyoming Valley has no answer.
They don't. D.Va's gonna be the best thing to mitigate this Widowmaker, but the sights are online here, Llama, and they're looking at the Widowmaker trying to force Artie away from free high ground, from free sight lines. It does work a little bit here as we are seeing the Artie back up to that lower edge, but Sopo once again the head out a tiny bit too much. And now we're in a constant 4v5 for Wyoming Valley. The fight is ongoing on the staircase, but in the back of it all, the bot, will come up to that forward checkpoint, and we lose Ronglong. The res does come to fruition. Even though Ari does get traded off for that res spot, we are once again seeing Central Bucks really push in the effort. The pulse bomb goes wide from Wonglong, putting all the pressure on Not Noah. Might get D-Mech here, but needs to regroup quickly before Tree finds the first kill in this fight.
I mean, the snowball has already started, and for Central Bucks South, they've got the forward spawn. They're playing phenomenal to recognize backline dive targets. Tree just gets no chance here and gets blown up. And Wyoming Valley West, they've got to find an answer. They've got control of the robot, but definitely not the team fight.
They surely don't, especially with Sopo also going down. Big damage output no longer in the engagement. The Valkyrie and Sound Barrier haven't been committed from Central Bucks in this extended fight, I will call it that at this point. Bot has been stolen for a second, though, regressing the progress being made by Central Bucks. But I love how active the Quickster is playing on this Lucio alongside a Mercy Pocket of all things.
That ability to boost the damage, to generate the healing has swapped really well between the two. And a D.Va bomb in the pocket can just open up the walkways as the robot continues to walk its way forward. Central Bucks South didn't have a ton of other ultimates, and Wyoming Valley West has a ton.
Oh, they surely do. The Coalition has been a big one. The rally as well, mitigating Frenchette almost entirely, right? So about 5% to the Death Blossom, and they're brawling on the bot itself, and actually forcing Frenchette and company to back up a tiny bit here. You hear the rally get popped here by Chris, and the Coalition's on top of that. The damage output, the healing output is a little bit too much for Central Bucks to comfortably take this fight. So they're gonna back up to this main area, more so backing up almost all the way back to the neutral.
chance to push them back. They've got to reserve some of those ultimates, though, for what is going to be the next fight. I think specifically Sopo is going to be the critical piece in this next fight. If you land that ultimate, it can change everything.
Oh, the teleport coming in from Sopo in the back line. The Buffalo is online, though. I've seen this play many a time in my own comp games. Will it come to fruition? We will have to wait and see, because Sopo is looking a little bit without cooldowns to get out of the French rate of destruction, right? Noah does get rid of RD once again, has been kind of set as Noah's job to mitigate this hit scan, but the Diva Bomb does come to fruition. Do we get the kill? We don't! The squish onto the Mercy of Raiden, and not Noah finds both of the backliners, trading off a lot of red and blue in that kill feed. But it's just Noah, I believe, on the objective, trying to stall as much as possible. He needs to regroup back to the team.
Use that Diva Bomb in the last fight. Now they've only got 2 ultimates left to go, and Central Book South, we talk about their patience again and again. They take close range fights for Sopo, down dangerously low. They've got 4 ultimates, and they could just run them over.
Oh, and get run over we do. Bullet shot, not bullet shot, excuse me. Pulse Bomb getting used as well in that engagement tree, mitigates the Tracer, Sound Barrier, and Valkyrie once again commit at the same exact time, giving an absurd amount of healing outputs, absurd amount of stabilization for Central Bucks to continue this fight. And not only that, but also regain, ideally, forward spawns here.
Definitely get the forward spawn, and because of the meterage they've already gained, they've got so much space. Now, the problem was they did use 4 ultimates in that last fight to get towards this position. Wyoming Valley West, though, has to play the defense. 5 minutes to go, and once again, 2 DPS ultimates in the back pocket.
Guys, that doesn't come to fruition here. The defense matrix being the biggest thing of kind of making Sopo not want to use the defense matrix, but they have to go in at some point because we're down our Brigida. Quicks are always getting active on the back line. Here comes the Wraith form from Sopo. Finally trying to stay in that fight a little bit longer onto the back line, but again, shut down by French Ed, who has the Diva Bomb in the back pocket at the exact same time. Coalescence will be used in tandem to help supplement the lack of DPS output from the Reaper being taken down early on, but will it become a win here for the Wyoming Valley? Not sure. Noah, D-Max in the middle of the fight. We also see the 4th Diva Bomb from French, which finds not 1, but 2, mitigating a remake from not Noah, mitigating the Tonic Shock from Tree.
Just incredible disruption. The Quickster has been earning themselves kills, but not only that, just knocking them off their line. And Quickster just double kills out of nowhere. Central Buck South are on the goal line.
The Tonic Shock shut down by the Pulse Bomb from Wrong Long on that Tracer. Not able to use the Diva Bomb either. The rally to go for a last minute contest, but at this point, you and I both know it's looking a lot like a stagger fight here, 1 at a time. And with only 3.5 minutes to go, we have gone a full map completion of Colosseo for Central Bucks South, and they have taken not 1, but 2 in the series.
Not a single percentage dropped on map number 1. Not a single meter dropped on map number 2. Frenchette, well deserved from the play of the game, earning themselves just a follow-up team fight after what was a disruption early on in the low ground. Just being able to go in and out of the mech, finding those dive kills, especially onto Sopo, who was just a thorn in their backside for a majority of that map. Central Bucks South, they moved to 2-0, now +4 on map differential. That's got to feel good.
Oh, it has to, especially again, very early in the series, both teams having the exact scoreline going into the series, and one getting a slightly more favorable one at the very end. I mean, that is very comfortable for anybody, especially this early on in PIEA week number 3. That being said, though, I have to say, Frenchette on that Diva was just a horror villain the entire series, all the way from Oasis into Colosseo, finding bodies, heads, healing for the back line, the front line, for everybody to make sure that Wyoming Valley did not get the value that they were looking for with the Reaper, with the Diva, with anything. And also with a not very popular backline of the Mercy and the Lucio. Very low healing output between the two heroes, but the way they were able to play despite that is extremely commendable, I will say.
Yeah, working together, making sure everybody stays strong, and popping those ultimates at the exact same time. Funny enough to just keep the team fully healthy and going. Now, for Wyoming Valley West, not the end of the world. They're going to drop to 1-1. They've got more chances to win down the line and so many more weeks before playoffs. And, talking about all the weeks and all the action, not only do we have PIEA action today, we've also got Night Owl streams all throughout the week featuring 3 different colleges. You definitely don't want to miss them.
No, you absolutely don't. And you also don't want to miss this next match coming up on deck here. You can really see we were kind of messing with it over a little bit, a little sneak peek into our next series. But we're going to go to a very quick break, get our players ready and loaded for their next match. Once again, seeing Central Bucks South come back, and can they replicate that beautiful play we saw in their first series? We'll see on the other end of this. It's hard and I'll try to carry on again. Never really knew that it was over. raring to go for our second series of the day. Going from Division 1 into Division number 2, you might see a familiar name, but different roster for Central Bucks South, having just in their previous game gotten the 2-0, now going into their next division against Mcdowell. And we have a ringer, of course, playing. So it's going to be a really fun time to see how they can synergize very quickly in this first of 2 best of 3. Once again, starting off on Oasis and to push into a possible flashpoint for a map 3. We're still Llama, and we're happy to cover this final series of the PIA stream for today.
It's going to be fun. Last best of 3 of the day, at least for us. Of course, so much more action across all of our other streams, our Night Owl streams as well. But this one's exciting. Similar to that first matchup, both teams enter the day today 1-0, +2 in map differential. So this will truly separate who's moving up to that upper echelon and might have an easier route to the playoffs.
Oh, for sure. And at that point, you need to think about the future, right? The playoffs. So everything you do from here on out, from week 1 into the week before playoffs, it all matters. There's absolutely no day to start slipping. There's no day to start not scrimming and not practicing. It all counts to get into playoffs. As we said earlier, Oasis is the name of the game. We had seen Central Bucks South A team play the D.Va once more. Braden gonna look like we're looking the D.Va again. So with that being said, we have Mcdowell on personally one of my favorite heroes, Malga. You know, I know a lot of people have a little bit PTSD about Malga, but I'm trying to get over it, and I love the Samoan so much. Can't wait to see what we do on University, a brawlier map.
I love this one, although if you lose the point, as we saw on series number 1 of the day, it's going to be a little bit tough to control some of those other choke points. And as we mentioned, getting to see not only the Malga, but some great damage. Braden already opening things.
Oh, and we trade off for, of course, at Freya, the jump onto Mimir, unfortunately, on the Juno. Taken down early for Central Bucks, so despite them having gotten the first opening pick, the trades are very much in favor of Mcdowell here. The Malga stabilizing with the Genji and the Zenyatta on the objective, now getting the very late VMAC and subsequently a late stagger onto Braden.
Interesting for Hero Fall, getting a lot of really good angles and pumping out damage, but for Central Bucks South, they've been able to somewhat manage that with the backline damage return. Interestingly enough, because they have the Genji, they have that reflect, they can play those corridors really well, but their healers are doing just such a good job keeping them alive.
Oh, they sure are. I love this Kiriko and Lucio, Kiriko and Zenyatta see the backline from Mcdowell, but Hero will be the first one to go down. Very much left naked without the Cardiac Overdrive, without the run, and no deflect either. Forced to be in the corner, waiting for some heals from the Kiriko, but very quickly sought out by Braden on this D.Va. Other than that, it's just a matter of cleaning up the running soldier, cleaning up this out-of-place Kiriko, and we flip it right before the 40%.
I like the idea in that last team fight too. It's kind of just protect the president. Braden goes in, everybody heals him, and then the kills are soon to follow. Now, Mcdowell did earn up to 37%, but because they swapped the main hero, their tank, Hero Fall, doesn't get to use their ultimate, and it's reset, but opens with a kill.
Beautifully done onto the Buzz fan as well. No reason to be seen, not really big damage output in favor of Central Bucks either without the character, meaning that leaves Blaze, that leaves the couch, all really open to the forces of the Zenyatta, of the Genji as well. Very quick flip here, 40% now garnered, and that bubble is getting some charge.
Shotgun straight to the bubble, not gonna feel good. Braden also has that ultimate ready to go. That D.Va bomb, especially in close corridors inside the point, could deal some damage. Mcdowell's over 50%, but they lose their DPS.
And they're walking with a sound barrier on top of that. Blade could be used here as there is no real response to it from the opposition. Sentinel does get used as well as a continued rush. Blade gets procced, tries to find a target, does land on the Lucio of all people. Next coming down, likely gonna be that Reaper with the Discord Orb on top of them. Bola shot from the high ground, not looked at by the opposition. D-Mech into the fray and the bomb for a quick remake. Stay alive in the fight, only now getting the flip. We are off the point, so we are still giving Mcdowell a little bit of extra credit.
Mcdowell only needs to win one more fight to really retake this point and take sub-map number 1, but Central Bucks South smartly using their ultimates at a perfect time. Those bolas just locked them up and sent them down to the ground with the Buzz fan in their face, continually aiding in the damage.
I mean, 4% away from Death Blossom. We're gonna rip it immediately. Defense Matrix does at least try to help the Buzz stay a little bit alive, but a beam does in fact go through it. The D.Va don't even know how we got over that half wall, but we're hiding away. Graviton Surge comes online and Blaze Plays is playing the game, getting rid of the grab maker. Hero Fall falls back over his spawn room. A little bit of a late stagger onto the gamer. And with that being said, $100 has solidified a 70% marker here on University.
Dow just didn't have the resources to fight that last one. Molten was the first player to go down, and without that supplemental DPS, along with Michael, without that cleanse, it was just a really tough one. They've got to win this one right here.
Almost gets caught out early by the Zarya, or by the D.Va, unfortunately, but thankfully teleports back to his Reaper, stay alive. Hero Fall walks onto the couch, and we are back in that spawn room, so we're down a Lucio, down a speed boost. We have members over the Ray, but not gonna get procced, not before the Buzz fan does go down early to not only the Zenyatta, but also the very hard charge Zarya. 80% in fact is in favor of this Zar. Bullet shot finds both of the backliners, and we're suddenly in overtime here, Llama, and we're suddenly down forces for Mcdowell. We can be as high charges on the Zar, but you cannot be out-angled. You cannot take off the pressure from this Lucio, this Kiriko, this anybody, or Lucio and Juno. That being said, 100% Bucks, but they started off on a really rough foot and brought it back.
Engaging score.
Ultimates together was the real big key there for Central Buck South, especially towards the end. They used that Juno laser combined with the bolas to just save fight. And as you mentioned, Hero Fall got that huge charge up, got a few early picks, but Central Buck South had saved those ultimates for a perfect position to fight their way back. And after trailing from a deficit of, what was it, like 75 to 25%, they come back, they win sub-map number 1, and they're on the verge of taking map number 1.
Oh, they sure are. And a very well done one at that. University, so brawl heavy, right? And the team that was playing brawl couldn't really find the leg up, right? Now we're forced into 2 dive sub maps if we go around 2, or if we go through 2 and 3, right? Brayden's gonna have a fun time on this D.Va, 100%, but I am worried about this Freya from Blaze Plays. Has been a menace since we have seen the character since release into this match. Brayden in the back line, finding Michael, taking care of all of the cooldowns in the world, then taking care of the Kiriko. On top of that, Molten finds death early in the fight. And look at this, they went to the back line and now going over to find the Zarya all by themselves.
That was just an insane amount of stack-up kills there from Brayden, who wraps around the side, and target selection has been perfection ever since that comeback on submap number 1. Michael the first to fall, but more importantly, they just leave Hero Fall. They say, you go do your thing 1v5, we'll take out the rest of your backline.
Smart plays all around, leaves Zarya by herself, and then she's kind of a sitting duck, especially with no supports and no bubbles. That being said, the fight is very much ongoing, very much already starting in the enemy territory. Molten saw out early on the Sombra of all characters. Very great scouting from the opposition, as we are seeing a lot of unfavorable trades happening for Mcdowell, losing everybody, and once again leaving the tank all by themselves. The D-Mech here is going to be very heartfelt alongside this supplemental stagger.
Ultimates are there, fight wins are there. Central Buck South is doing everything correct, and controlling these 2 corridors more than ever is ever important for Hero Fall and crew. They're constantly changing heroes and just not getting these ultimates on board as a double comes through from Brayden's bomb.
Oh, what a beautiful bomb as well. Very forward-facing, and it caught the 2 most important members of any team, your backliners. And they're only walking in further, Llama, into this enemy territory. Oh, unfortunately, Hero Fall does get kind of stuck into a corner. Couldn't get quite find the spawn area again. Michael getting a little bit active with the Bari Blaster, gets rid of the Buzz fan in the meantime, forcing a regroup for Central Bucks.
80% though. I mean, it's now or never. They get to push off the extended kill, and Hero Fall gets to remech. This could be the fight that Mcdowell needed to earn themselves some percentage.
And all because of the overextension from Central Bucks as well. EMP committed in the fray. Molten does go down, but the EMP is in fact going to be felt for an extended amount of time in this fight here. Sound barrier does get used by the couch. just to keep our diva alive and hopefully give Brady that extra 40%, 30% into a remech here. Bomb online though for Hero Fall. This could become messy as we do start the engagement. And we, get a little bit of a squish damage. So can we get out? No. Bomb gets used a little bit earlier than I think was expecting, but the buzz does not fade out in time.
Buzz just stared that one down as the rest of the team fight collapses around them. Hero Fall. Once again, the maneuverability is good, but Central Bucks is fighting on the point.
They sure are, with the orbital rate to boot from Memer as well. Blaze did kind of start earlier with the Freya projectiles. That's A-OK. Coming back soon enough. The Mercy found without a GA, but still getting a little bit of healing output with the soldier healing pad, but it's not enough to keep them alive. Especially the Buzz can and Blaze are back in this fight here. They're seeking out Molten early, but mind you, we're at 95% to completion with a bomb, blossom, and bullet shots.
Should one be wrapped up real quickly, though. Drop the bomb just for heck's sake, and Mcdowell can't get back to the point. A really clean submap number 2 for Central Bucks South, as once again, savoring the team fights, working off each other, and surviving for so dang long until the end of the team fights to let those respawns happen. Molten will earn the play of the game.
Oh, they sure will. Really well done with the Genji. I will say, just kind of capitalizing on the angles being made by their other DPS and just kind of executing anyone who dared to touch a point, like our poor old the couch there. Either way, very well done. Really good reversal from South Bucks. Like we recall, the very beginning of Oasis, Oasis City Center and University, they struggled a tiny bit. You know, they lost a point at 75%, and they brought it back, as you mentioned, a quarter of the objective back over to 99%, and that's impressive in of its own right. And they took that momentum and just ran with it wholeheartedly on City Center. With that being said, though, we now have the push map type coming up our way for map 2. The selection between Coliseo, Runasapi, and Esperanza is in the field of Mcdowell.
Coliseo is what we got to see going into that first series, and it's pretty popular, especially with the high school crews. It's one that they've known for a long period of time if they've been playing for multiple years over end. But Central Bucks South, again, we go to their feeder program and what they've been able to do to not only Division 1 but Division 2 now as well. I mean, this could be a day where on the mainstream, Central Bucks South doesn't drop a single map if they can find a way to win it. Now, I think the good news for Mcdowell, you take a push map just in general, there's more chances to fight, there's more chances to win, and because of how well fought you mentioned that submap number 1 was, it gives me some good hope that we might just get that map number 3.
I have a feeling we do, and I always like a good Flashpoint, so I am hoping, as an unbiased caster, of course, but I do, again, love Flashpoint. I want to see some Saravasa Atlas action, So I want us to go to round number 3. Although, map differential, not my favorite. If I'm the team, I don't want a map loss. Okay, well, I want a third map, so please excuse me for wanting Flashpoint action in my Overwatch game, but we gotta get through push first. So the next 10 minutes could be do or die for Central Bucks. They could do and win and get the 2-0 in their favor, mirroring the Division 1 allies or Division 1 team here, or they lose it here, go to round 3, and Mcdowell has the opportunity for a small reverse sweep, a very lighthearted one since it is a best of 3, not as spectacular as a reverse sweep with a 3-0, but it's still something to note, especially with how well they did play the first part of University. I think there is definitely something there, especially if we lean towards a Coliseo or an Esperanza.
Good news for Central Bucks South is, sure, Mcdowell, they have to win 2 straight to be able to go to that map number 3. They have a chance if they win this second map, but you have 2 chances, right? Even if you don't win here, there's something about momentum and a reverse sweep that pops up with map number 3, but it's another chance. There's always a silver lining for you as a team, especially for how hard you worked on that second submap, being able to generate so many team fights and playing the dive perfectly. Mcdowell, it felt like in submap number 1, had figured out everything. And then into submap number 2 especially, they were subbing heroes at kind of awkward times, losing ultimate percentage, and trying to figure out that composition is honestly what a lot of teams struggle with in this early couple of weeks. I mean, you're dealing with new players, possible players that, as we mentioned, series number 1, have their favorite hero they want to bring, and sometimes you just have to play around that.
Oh, 100%. It can always kind of fall back to what's been good so far, and arguably what's been good for a long time. Of course, my mind immediately goes to Freya and Sojourn as just long-standing great DPS picks in general. And depending on where we go to, which is in fact going to be Coliseo, those two can absolutely make a comeback. Tracer also very strong in that DPS line. Genji has, as you have seen from Molten, has been strong in of himself in the greater meta space, especially when it comes to DPS lineups. Backline is very flexible. Front line has been very flexible. And a lot of the time, it comes down to the tank versus tank matchup. You did see Hero Fall swap over to Zarya to at least try to counteract this diva from Brayden. Had some success, especially, again, harping on University once more. But this time, you have a moving objective. You want mobility. You want to have angle pressure. And that's why you're seeing the diva mirror. And also some familiar faces of the Kiriko, the Lucio mirror as well from both teams.
Interesting comps overall. Hero Fall had a little bit more success, I feel like, on this diva, being able to pop some extra defense matrix, keeps the team alive, but Molten is going to be the key one to watch. Can they find some use on this Genji, especially towards a very vulnerable backline? And I think the Couch had a really good first map where they had the ability to disrupt everything that Genji wanted to do. 15 seconds until unlock. Let's have ourselves a map too.
And we're starting things off really strong. Look at the angles already being forced out, or at least forced by Central Buck. They have already out-angled Decent Gamer early on in the engagement, taking care of the Lucio early. And now, only looking at the Soldier, Suzu forced as well from Michael, but it's all for now as we are forced into a 3v5 situation. Brayden feels like has been just kind of running around the map, finding 1, 2, 3, 4 bodies. The fifth one has now touched, and now it's just Michael led by themselves. No TP in sight. There's no one within a 30-meter radius of the Kiriko.
And Brayden did such a good job to find themselves to the back line. An opportunity to send some extra damage with already a couple of kills racked up from map number 1. And realistically, Mcdowell cannot fight until this robot pushes past this entryway. They've already made some swaps. Hero Fall over to the Orisa.
They absolutely have. And also, a quick little shout out, we have Franchette in the fight here as well. Previously was a tank on the Division 1 team, now filling in as a sub in the flex support line on that Kiriko. Hero Fall unfortunately falls early as the Orisa ideally didn't really have the cooldowns needed. The Terror Surge probably wasn't even online either as well. Now there's a little bit of a staggers coming through against Mcdowell, and we will get the checkpoint at the 6-meter marker and the poke phase. I mean, we're extending it into bridge.
The best part about that poke phase is Central Buck South, with the amount of damage that they've done, has unlocked so many ultimates. 3 already on the board. Beat is just around the edge, and boy, Franchette opens up with a headshot.
Clean one at that. Corey Electro very low on the Soldier, does get called out by the Couch. We retreat back over to the objective, losing the Buzz in the meantime. Now walking on to the opposition. Here comes a Diva, D-Mech, and the Bomb, and the Blizzard. Unfortunately, Decent Gamer, of course, on Zenyatta, famously very slow, couldn't escape the wrath of that Diva Bomb. And with that being said, everybody else has now gone down by the wayside against Mcdowell. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now only regrouping is the Orisa and the Zenyatta.
Fortunately for Molten and crew, that's going to stagger them out here into this next fight. Sure, Central Buck South dumped everything into it, but all you've really got is a Terra Surge for defense and players that are still lingering from spawn.
Ooh, the Buzzfan just, as you mentioned, lingering from spawn, the Buzzfan just came back into the fight, gets Terror Surge for his efforts. Plays super low in that engagement, being looked at and focused by Hero Fall on the Orisa. 2 for 2 trade-off, by the way. Could be doable, but with no support online from Mcdowell, it's becoming a lot more difficult to stay alive in the engagement and retake this objective. Hero Fall finally, with no cooldowns, will be going down, and we're going to find a couple of last-minute pressure onto the backline as well.
Generational fight from Central Bucks, and the Couch continues to just rip through this backline. How are you supposed to play when there's a Lucio straight in your face?
It's impossible. The speedy character is a speedster for a reason. The Buzzfan waltzes right back in, finds Corey Electro in that 2v1. And in the meantime, 3 have now come back from the spawn room. The Iris have made an appearance. Are we discording everybody? No, we don't have the perk online quite yet. Was 1 away from achieving that Discord condemnation perk with the Transcendence, leaving everyone to stay alive. And not only that, push back Mcdowell far enough to get a full cap here on Colosseo.
Central Buck South undeniable in back-to-back series is both their Division 1 and Division 2 team able to pick up a 2-0 sweep. Braden, with the play of the game, was constantly ripping bodies early on in the team fight. Had a lot of those really huge ultimates, but the play of the game is actually the starter team fight. Opens up with a 3K, finds one on the edge as well, and just a phenomenal job from the tank to lead off the charge and lead Central Buck South into a Division 2 victory here today.
I'm seeing something about Central Bucks, and they love playing the between again French, who did kind of make an appearance just to play that flex support for Division 2, but they themselves also are a menace on that character at the same time. Maybe giving Braden some pointers as well on that diva. Wouldn't be surprised if the two do collaborate in that sense, because both of those divas between the Division 1 and Division 2 teams were immaculate, constantly giving that front-facing pressure, always putting something on the board here in terms of eliminations, in terms of staying alive for extended periods of time there. But Mcdowell put up a really good fight, had some very good swaps, I will say. Orisa, always a pretty good one to have in the back pocket. It kind of just came down to the back line or your DPS line not getting the picks needed or getting out of the fight extremely early on, which again is something that can definitely be improved upon between now and later and nearer to the playoff stage. So I do have hope for sure that Mcdowell can clean it up and bring it back stronger than ever.
Yeah, McDowell's a strong team. I mean, we said it this week, entered in 1-0, had swept their first week matchup, and because of last week, because we didn't play any matches on Monday, you know, the schedules are a little bit funky, still getting things rescheduled and whatnot, but McDowell still has a lot of season left to play, and especially at Division 2 level, you're here to learn, you're here to have a lot of fun, and that's what it seemed like they were doing with some hard-fought matches. And for Central Buck South, we said it, I mean, they find their swaps well, they're snowballing really well, and honestly, their two teams look like some of the best, so it's going to be exciting to follow them throughout their seasons. But you know what else you can follow throughout their regular seasons is our Waynesburg Night Owl streams, along with SFU. We've got Mount Aloysius. We've got 3 different colleges, so much action across the board. Those happen at night, so you better hit that follow button, turn on the notifications, and make sure you're checking out all the social channels that TEC has as well. Top 5 plays to entrance formats to fall brawl updates and more. You're not going to want to miss it.
No, you're not. And across not just Overwatch, but also a multitude of games, Rocket League, Valorant, we have Marvel Rivals at the same time. So there is something for everybody. If you like Overwatch, tune in for our PIEA and our night streams as well. We have everything going on between now and I believe Thursday. So always tune in if you possibly can. Follow, support the production team as they do so much to cover our not just high school but also our collegiate teams as well. In the meantime, that is all we have for this broadcast. As of course Llama did mention, we have things happening at night, so come back in a couple of hours in the EST time zone and we'll be here for some more fun action between our collegiate programs competing in NECC and ECAC, so many tournament spaces. So with that being said, Llama, thank you so much for the cast. Absolute pleasure. And shout out to my producer and observer, Nick, as always, holding down the fort and bringing us some absolutely spectacular gameplay for our high schoolers and beyond. That being said, have a wonderful night, everybody, or a wonderful day, everybody. We'll see you guys later today or later this week for some more fun Overwatch and more action. Have a good one.
Hey, what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get lost. I don't wanna see your face. Yeah, what the hell? So why don't we stay out till the morning light? 'Cause 2 wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. Some Chardonnay, we camp in the parking lot. Leave traces of plastic cups. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting take you home, but tell the truth, you'll spend the night alone. Let's be alone. So why don't we stay out to the morning light? 'Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get. So what the hell? What the hell are you reading so for? What the hell? So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get. So what the hell? What the hell? So what the hell?
Dreams collide in sleepless nights. Stars explode through blinding lights. Victories found in the fight. I'm on top, my soul ignites. Life's a game, we learn the rules. Twist and turn like misfit fools. Through the pain we break the chains. Find the win through loss and gains. I've got a heart that's never quitting. In this race I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings. Castles built on hope's foundation. Rivers run with pure elation. Through the storm I'll find my way. Triumph shines like break of day. Tides may turn, but I remain steady, strong, won't yield to pain. In the end the truth will show. Strength and heart, the seeds we sow. I've got a heart that's never quitting. In this race I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings. Tides may turn, but I remain steady, strong, won't yield to pain. In the end, the truth will show. Strength and heart, the seeds we sow. I've got a heart that's never quitting. In this race, I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings.
I'm stuck inside of these walls.